believe it or they cannot believe it.
Glad you guys are back on Rapture Fox, because I got your back.
Can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two f***s, but I am telling you right now, that back there is not real.
Alright guys, this is kind of freaky, so tell me what you think. I've read a lot of comments over the last few days, and most people think she's crazy. You know, she's drunk or on drugs or delusional. We know that there's been a lot of crazy stuff happening over the airlines in the last few years with COVID and just the politics, the hate. You know how our government and the mainstream media are trying to ignite racial wars and just basically divide us on every single issue. Well, here, this lady on a flight from DFW believes that she saw something that is not of this world, perhaps supernatural. And you can believe that she believes by listening to her voice and look at her body language. Listen to how her voice shakes. She is scared. And she is scared enough to leave her luggage behind and get the F off the plane, like she said. I believe her. Do you? Okay, we got this guy here that claims he was about 3 rows behind her on the flight. So let's listen to what he says, especially at the end. Listen to what he says he saw.
I'm getting the f*** off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the f*** off in everyone.
I was on that flight. It was American Airlines. We were leaving Dallas-Fort Worth.
Can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two f***s.
I was sitting in the left aisle, about 3 rows back from this woman. She was sitting in the right aisle, and she had this very interesting exchange with some dude in a hoodie. I don't remember the color of the hoodie.
But I am telling you right now, that motherfucker.
I noticed this exchange between this.
Okay, real quick, guys. I live in DFW, and I came across this video, and this guy claims to have been, 3 rows behind her, and he is giving us his story. So listen carefully, especially to the end, on what he says he saw with his own eyes.
Woman and this dude in a hoodie.
That motherfucker back there is not real.
And it was kind of weird at the time because it seemed like no one else before she really started getting frantic, was paying attention to this. But that makes sense. It was like a normal flight. This was after putting all the luggage away. We'd been on the plane for a little bit. It was before the flight attendant came over and gave the little spiel. What I remember is she was having a full-blown conversation with this dude in the hoodie. I'll call him the hoodie guy. She was having a full-blown conversation with hoodie guy. The weird thing was that he never once said a fucking word to her the whole time. And at the time, I don't know, I wasn't really thinking about it. But it's like she would say something and he would respond, but there was no exchange happening. It was just her getting more and more frantic, which, okay, if she's drunk and she's going crazy, then you would think the dude in the hoodie would have been like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? But he was just dead locked on her, deep eye contact with her. I don't want to feed into the conspiracies here, but almost like she was in a hypnosis type of thing. She started getting more and more frantic to the point where then people started kind of noticing. Flight attendant came over, tried to calm her down, what's going on? She sat back down, but she kept looking over at this dude in the hoodie, and finally she was done with it. And that's when I really started paying attention, okay, what the fuck is going on? And that's when she was I can't do this. She started getting up, she started walking up to the front. The weird thing was, after she left the plane, the dude in the hoodie, which the flight attendant was like, did anything happen? And he still didn't say a word. He just went like, and like shrugged. The dude in the hoodie like looked around the plane and he looked back at me and he winked at me. And again, I didn't quite register it. I was like, okay, what the fuck was that about? I was like, maybe he's just being like an ass, like winking, like that was weird, wasn't it? But now that I look back, I realized that when he winked at me, and it was his left eye looking back at me, it didn't wink like this. It winked like this.
That mother back there is not real.
Okay, guys, did you hear what he said? He said that instead of blinking normal, that this guy's eye blinked perpendicular to the ground. So he's implying, and many of us are implying, that she saw a reptilian. Now, with the UFO thing that's been happening lately, especially the last 5 years or so, something's up. And I can't confirm what it is. I believe that it's demonic, no matter what it turns out to be. But this reptilian thing is starting to gain some ground in my belief, because I believe in the Bible. And we'll talk more about why I think it's possible that Lucifer and some of his minions are actually reptilian.